Market participants will benefit from the long-standing investor protections in securities and commodities markets, but they will also benefit from new ideas, new services, new opportunities that innovation can bring. Our central question today is how best to promote both advantages. We can do that, and we must. Governments around the world are grappling with these same questions, and they are coming up with answers. One of the pieces of testimony, I think, noted that most of the G20 countries are ahead of us, and because in the absence of U.S. leadership, they're creating frameworks and
this industry forward. This might be the first time that we see an emerging technology that ends up finding its way outside of the United States predominantly, in a technology that is still very nascent. As I mentioned, it's only been around now for 13 years, but growing and accelerating at a pace that we really haven't seen before. So I caution everyone here that if we don't move forward and we don't do something, and if MiCA is something that you're worried about, the next book to drop is going to be pretty severe.
If I may add, I think there's a lot of reasons why we have the strongest capital markets in the world and the strongest financial system. Regulation is part of that, but there are a lot of other factors that contribute to it. So I think it's important not to exaggerate the risk here. We clearly do want to put in place a regulatory framework, but I'm not that worried yet about the U.S. losing its leadership ability in a lot of these areas. On the regulatory framework, there's going to be interpretive issues under MiCA as well. Frankly, when you look at MiCA, it applies to crypto assets and it excludes anything that's a financial instrument. Their definition of a financial instrument includes sort of what we define as a security. So they're going to have some interpretive questions there too. So I think we need to move forward with a sensible regulatory framework, but let's not get too worried about losing our edge yet.
I
yield back, Mr. Chairman.
So what are the takeaways today? I think to recap on today, a couple things are clear. The current Securities Exchange Commission approach to disclosures don't work for digital assets. It doesn't conform with the nature and properties of digital assets. The CFTC needs additional authority over non-security digital assets. The Securities Exchange Commission needs to modify its rules for broker-dealers and securities exchanges. Those things have to happen because the CFTC and the SEC alone can't do this. Congress must act.
And what a great way to summarize it by the fact that we've had a collaborative joint hearing of the House Agriculture Committee and the House Financial Services Committee to illuminate exactly those points and the need for a framework to be put in place. I want to thank my colleagues for their participation today on both sides of the aisle in both committees. Thank the Ways and Means Committee for allowing us to slum here in their beautiful facility without
Mr. Chairman,
objection.
will you yield for?
I will yield to my friend from California.
I'll just point out, if we want clarity, let's just make it clear, and the industry should lobby for this, that the SEC has full jurisdiction. If the CFTC wants to have full jurisdiction,